In the remote town of Mariner's Hollow, a dark secret lurked beneath the placid surface of Lake Evan. The lake, surrounded by dense woods and jagged cliffs, had a reputation that chilled the spine of even the bravest souls. It was said that those who swam in its waters at night never returned. The legend of Lake Evan had been passed down for generations. It spoke of a malevolent entity known only as the Depth Dweller. This creature, born from the lake's murky depths, was rumored to be the guardian of a sunken village that lay beneath the waters. The village, once a thriving settlement, was submerged during a catastrophic flood many years ago, and its inhabitants were never seen again. On a dare, a group of friends, led by the courageous but reckless Jack, decided to challenge the legend. As night fell, they arrived at the lake, their laughter echoing through the silent woods. The moon cast an eerie glow on the water, and the air was heavy with an unspoken dread. Jack was the first to enter the water, diving headfirst into the inky blackness. The others, hesitant at first, soon followed, their splashes breaking the stillness of the night. They swam out to the center of the lake, unaware of the shadows moving beneath them. Suddenly, the water around them began to churn violently. One by one, they were pulled under, their screams muffled by the cold embrace of the lake. Jack, struggling against the unseen force, caught a glimpse of the Depth Dweller. It was a grotesque, humanoid figure, its skin pale and waterlogged, its eyes glowing like embers in the darkness. In a desperate bid for survival, Jack swam towards the shore, the creature in close pursuit. His heart pounded in his chest as he felt its icy fingers graze his ankle. With one final burst of energy, he reached the rocky edge and hauled himself out of the water. He turned just in time to see the creature submerge, its haunting gaze fixed on him. Jack knew then that he was marked, a survivor who had witnessed the true horror of Lake Evan. He stumbled back to town, his mind reeling from the night's events. The townsfolk, upon hearing his tale, were not surprised. They had always known the lake was cursed, a watery grave for the foolhardy and the brave. Jack left Mariner's Hollow soon after, but the memories of that night haunted him for the rest of his days. And so, the legend of Lake Evan lived on, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the surface of still waters.
Now the second story.
In the heart of a forgotten forest lay a hidden lake, known only in hushed whispers as the Mirror of Malice. This lake, shrouded in perpetual mist, held a terrifying secret. It was said that its waters mirrored not the sky, but the darkest abyss of the underworld. Centuries ago, the lake was the site of a vile ritual performed by a cult seeking to open a portal to another realm. Their incantations awoke something ancient and unspeakable from the depths of the lake. This entity, a malevolent spirit known as the Soul Drainer, was a spectral horror that fed on fear and despair. Legend had it that those who gazed into the lake's waters at midnight during a new moon would see not their reflection, but the twisted visage of their darkest fears. Worse still, the Soul Drainer would emerge to claim their soul, dragging them into the watery abyss. One fateful night, a group of thrill-seeking teenagers, led by the intrepid and curious Sarah, ventured into the forest, determined to debunk the myth. They arrived at the lake, the moon hidden behind thick clouds, casting an otherworldly pallor over the scene. As the clock struck midnight, Sarah, feeling a mix of fear and excitement, peered into the lake. Instead of her reflection, she saw a distorted, ghastly figure, its eyes hollow pits of despair, its mouth a gaping maw of sharp, jagged teeth. The water began to ripple and churn as a cold, clammy hand emerged, reaching for her. Panicked, the group ran, but the forest around them seemed to shift and change, leading them in circles back to the lake. One by one, they were picked off by the soul trainer, their screams echoing through the twisted trees. Sarah, now alone, realized the horrifying truth. The entity didn't just inhabit the lake, it was the lake, and the entire forest was its domain. She ran, her breath ragged, as the ground beneath her became soggy and wet. The trees around her began to bleed a black, viscous substance, and the air was filled with the stench of decay. Just when she thought she had escaped, she stumbled and fell into a pool of dark water. The last thing she saw was the soul trainer's face, a grotesque mirror of her own terror, before she was pulled under, her screams lost in the depths of the mirror of malice. The lake remained undisturbed, a silent sentinel in the forgotten forest, waiting for the next soul brave or foolish enough to uncover its sinister secret. And so, the legend of the Mirror of Malice grew, a chilling tale of the unquenchable thirst of the abyss.
Now the third story.
I've always been drawn to the ocean, its vastness both terrifying and mesmerizing. This story begins on a summer day that I will never forget, a day that turned my love for the sea into a deep-rooted fear. It was a perfect day for a swim. The sun was high, the sky was clear, and the sea was calm. I remember standing at the edge of the water, the waves gently lapping at my feet. With a deep breath, I dove in, relishing the cool embrace of the ocean. As I swam further from shore, the water grew deeper, the blue darker. There's a unique silence that comes with being underwater, a quiet so profound it's almost deafening. I was alone, save for the occasional fish that darted past. After a while, I decided to dive deeper to explore the unseen depths. I've always been a strong swimmer, and the mystery of what lay beneath was too tempting. As I descended, the sunlight began to fade, the blue turning to a murky gray. That's how I felt it. A subtle, yet unmistakable current pulling me further down. I tried to swim against it, but it was useless. Panic set in as I realized I was being dragged into the abyss. In the dim light, shapes began to emerge from the darkness. At first, I thought they were rocks or coral, but as my eyes adjusted, I realized they were something else entirely. Figures, human in shape, but grotesquely distorted, their skin pale and bloated, eyes hollow and unseeing. They were the drowned, souls lost to the sea, their bodies swaying in the current like macabre puppets. I struggled, my lungs burning for air, but the current was relentless. The figures drew closer, their hands reaching out to me. I could feel their icy fingers brush against my skin, a chill running down my spine. Just when I thought I was lost, when the darkness threatened to consume me, I felt a different pull, this time upwards. I kicked with all the strength I had left, propelling myself towards the surface. The light grew brighter, the pressure of the deep receding. With one final push, I broke through the surface, gasping for air. The shore was surprisingly close, as if the ocean had decided to release me from its grasp. I swam back, every stroke fueled by adrenaline and fear. When I finally reached the beach, I collapsed onto the sand, my heart racing, my body trembling. I looked back at the sea, its surface calm and inviting, as if nothing had happened. But I knew better. I had seen what lurked beneath, felt the grip of the ocean's dark heart. I never swam in the ocean again, the memory of those drowned souls haunting my dreams. The sea, with its hidden depths and unseen horrors, had shown me its true face, and it was a face I would never forget.